Natalia, what an honor to have you here. How are you?
Good. Thank you for the invite. I'm so excited to see you. As I said, also off camera, I've been following you for so long, and it's just so exciting to see you and talk to you in person.
Yeah, likewise. And let's go ahead and start with a short introduction of who you are as well as where are you tuning in from today.
Yeah, so my name is Natalia Gaitan. I am the founder of Hola Luz Creative Studio, formerly known as Power Up Brand and Design. I am a Colombian immigrant here living in Dallas. We are based here, but we serve clients across the country virtually. And Hola Luz Studio is a brand and website design studio. We support female and minority owned businesses with their brand needs and getting more eyes on their business.
And I love that. I love that. And you said a couple of words that were so powerful, like website, creatives. And it's, hold on, let's talk about this because oftentimes as Latinas, especially as moms, we are told that there are specific roles that we have to fulfill in order to quote unquote be successful. And I reach out to you because I want to learn about you and your journey on how do you step into your CEO era. So where were you? Were you in a corporate career? Were you in a corporate job? Like how did you ended up here?
Yeah, so I started my career. I'm originally a fashion designer. I designed for TJ Maxx and Marshalls and JC Penney, so just Fortune 500 companies for over 10 years. That was the highlight of my life for so long. I dreamed of being part of big global brands, and like I really wanted to understand why somebody would pay $10,000 for a Louis Vuitton purse versus $20 at JCPenney. So I just really wanted to understand this brain process behind that. And working for these brands really helped me understand the magic is behind it's the brand. Literally all the stories that we tell around brands is what makes people pay X or Y. So based on that experience and through COVID, kind of being furloughed and having an opportunity to reflect on my journey so far and understanding, okay, like what a success looks like to me, because from my parents and their parents, it's been told that success is when you're making a shitload of money, which great, we all want to make money, yes. But there wasn't anything else around that description of success. And when I was forced to start this side hustle because of my furlough, I quickly understood that success looked like joy, like freedom. So all these new words were coming up for me. And that's how I got started. I truly stepped into my CEO era last year, to be honest. I've been in this doing this business for 5 years. I've been a full-time self-employed entrepreneur for 4 years, but my truly CEO era came last year. And that came along with a lot of self-healing, breaking a lot of cycles for myself as a woman, as a Latina, as a mom, especially. And with that, I was able to open a new door into what leadership looks like to me, community service, supporting my people and my circle. So it's been a journey, a slow burn kind of journey.
I love everything. Now I'm gonna make a quick pause right now because we're recording this and I will edit this part by the way, but my light keeps going on. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh my God, that always happens. Something funny.
Like, what's going on? If it goes off, then I just leave it alone. But I'm like, stop it. I feel like it will go off, and now I jinx myself. Okay, no lie.
You're still getting great like window light on your side, so that's pretty good.
Okay, so you just said something that was so powerful, and I want to break it into pieces for the listeners, okay? You talk about a layoff, which is something that happens to people. Were you financially prepared to cover your expenses, to actually have the capacity to say, I just lost my job and I have the capacity to take time off? Or were you like, where were you? Because we want to make this conversation real for people.
Yeah, so when I got furloughed, we did have established like savings account, emergency account. I am married to another entrepreneur. He's the OG here in this family. So we were already prepared for that when he left corporate 2 years before I did. So I feel like that felt really stable, and it just really gave me the peace to follow what I loved, which I know is not always the case. You have to decide between surviving and doing what you love. And I think for us, we were very prepared for that. And that really helped, to be honest.
Yeah. And I love that. And I think, I don't think, what I've seen is a lot of people don't get prepared for when life happens. And this is why I'm so passionate about money and finances,
Mhm.
because it's going to happen to all of us. Life will happen to all of us. And it's up to us to decide how are we going to react to it. Are we going to be afraid, anxious, what the heck just happened? Or are we going to be like, hey, I've been saving for these. Obviously, no one wants to be let go. No one wants to lose their job. But we're all very much at risk of losing our job. So I'm like, I'm just so proud that you were financially safe for the next move. Now, you also talk about something that I was so interesting to hear as you were describing your journey from your career into entrepreneurship. You talk about, you said, I started to hear some words that I never heard before. And can you walk us through the process of what it was for you to realize that it's okay for you to follow your passions, and that entrepreneurship or that success is not about accolades or another degree, but more so about following your purpose, which in your case was, I want to design everything.
Yeah, you know what? When I was growing up, my father was like the head of the house. My mom was a staying at home mom. The concept of wealth and money only came from what he did, not necessarily from my mom giving all her time and effort to raise us, to take care of the house. So that wasn't really seen as part of the wealth. You know what I mean? So I think moving to the States, leaving everything you love behind, like your mission is to go make people proud. You have to go there. If you are leaving everything behind, it's because you're doing something wonderful, and wonderful means a lot of money. I feel really proud of where I got in my career, like pay wise. It was wonderful. Like I feel like I was in a place where I didn't think I could be. And even so, my dad would tell my tias and my primas and abuelitas, he would lie to them all the time and duplicate the amount of money I was making just to tell the story that I was being successful. So to me, that piece was always really confusing because I already felt like I was up in the corporate ladder, but it wasn't enough because he had to lie about it. So in his eyes, the reflection of success was only in those dollar bills. So when I had the chance to explore more of the entrepreneurship part, and I could see myself enjoying more time with my family and like picking up my daughters from school and still bring enough money home, it just made me rethink of what success looked like to me. And only the idea of I get to write success, I define what success looks like to me, what wealth looks like to me. And this now reflects in like the conversations we have with our daughters. If we want to spend money on ice cream versus saving for a trip, we can say, hey, we have the money, that's just not the priority. Instead of, no, there's no money for that. We don't have money for that. So we always try to reframe conversations now that we are the parents so they can understand wealth looks for us in a way that's always aligned with our priorities and the things that we love and appreciate.
What a powerful testament of what is possible when you redefine your own success. I don't know, like, I'm so emotional. You're like my second guest today that I record, and all the stories that you all are sharing, like, tengo un pañuelito right here because I'm like, I know I'm gonna lose it. Like, it is so powerful to hear another mujer, especially another mama, that is going after their dreams and essentially redefining and reclaiming everything that she was ever told that she needed to be. And now I see you and just your story, I'm like, oh, this is so powerful. Now, the last thing that you said was self-healing, and you talk about how you had to go there, right? And entrepreneurship, I feel that it brings up a lot of wounds that oftentimes we don't even realize that are part of our story and the definition that we allocate to success, to money, to even the ability to create your own money. And so when did you realize that you needed to start healing?
For me, like my biggest trigger as a mom, like as a woman, has been actually wanting to become the mother or like the parent that I wanted to have. As a sexual abuse survivor, it's been really complex to navigate my feminine side. And then when it comes to jumping into healing itself, motherhood put me in a really hard spot, to be honest. It triggered all the things that I didn't want to see. And I got to a point last year when I was like, either I tackle this or I can't move forward with my life, my husband, a mother, business, like all these hats that I'm wearing. I can't do my job if I don't tackle what it's like about to burst. So last year I decided to do EDRM therapy, so trauma therapy. And that has really revolutionized how I do business, how I parent, how I'm a wife, how I'm an independent woman, and how to use my voice, especially. So, being a survivor from this and developing skills to dim your light, not use your voice to survive, because you have to hide in order to survive in those situations. Healing allowed me to see that my voice is important. And using my voice to help others use their voice is really important. And call in wealth, call in success, call in abundance, and asking for what I want. And that includes like raising my prices, saying no to people that don't align with our business. So it's been really a wonderful door to open. It was hard to get there because doing the work is really heavy, but really feeling more on the other side now. It's what's allowed me to do what I'm doing and how to serve my people, how to serve my kids, how to serve my family.
And thank you for sharing that, by the way. Thank you for trusting us with your story. And what a powerful thing. Like, we have another thing in common, by the way, therapy, because I do invest in therapy and I've actually applied the same modalities as you to heal my story as well. And a lot of people don't want to do the work. A lot of women right now that are watching or that are listening, they are telling themselves the story of, but it's so hard and I will never be able to be where they are and I will never to become the woman that they are and I will never be able to step into my CEO era and I will never be able to heal my wounds because they're so deep and so hard. And to those women, I think both of us will say, yes, you can.
Yes,
And it is hard, but it's totally worth it because now, as you were talking about how you are essentially deciding who your client is and you're not afraid of showing up, you're not afraid of setting boundaries and stepping into your Mami to Mogul era. And that to me is, man, then therapy was totally worth it. Let's do more and more.
yeah, and I feel as like Latinas in general, we carry so much generational trauma, like not necessarily our own specific experience, but your moms, your grandmas. There's so much there to unpack. And like when it comes to wealth and money, we are constantly being told we're not good with money. And that like immediately cancels being a CEO. Because if you are a CEO, you are building something towards wealth. So it just everything as we build business right now, especially in this era of the world, it's the intersection of healing, motherhood, healing, and just wealth. So I feel like therapy or whatever you need to do to tackle those things that are holding you back in a personal way are really the key to stepping into that next chapter.
Yes, absolutely. Now, you talk about your nenas, and I want to know because my goal is to inspire more mujeres to step into their entrepreneurial era and say, yeah, I do want to have the ability to launch my business, ability to work on my own terms, and so on. But how do you manage your business when you have a family?
You know what? And I think this is important to share. I hated being a parent for the first 8 years of my life. My oldest just turned 9, and I was so broken that I could not enjoy any of it. And if you're listening to this and you feel that is totally normal and you are not crazy, we weren't built for this. We have so many things and challenges that we're facing as a generation. So I want people to feel super encouraged that it's okay to not feel like this is what you were meant to do. I felt like being a mom was not what I was meant to do for a really long time because I was so broken. I couldn't see myself doing a good job. Now that I am on this side of the tunnel, I feel like this is where I need to be. I've never felt more excited to be a mom. And then showing them that I can do what I love and get paid for it and work with women that light me up every single day and get to talk to women like you and like really go out there and serve my community. It's the best gift I've given myself and I'm giving them as well. Last week I had, a panel here in person in Dallas, and I asked my husband to bring them over. And the first question was about, how are you feeling? And I immediately said, I'm feeling rich. I'm telling my story on the stage. My kids are watching. If that's not rich, then I don't know what it is. It's now feeling very connected. I feel like you have to find, there's no balance, there's only intersection, right? You will never have 50-50. It's just finding what the priority lies, when and where in the context of what you're doing. But I like sharing with my kids. I never say, I have to go work. I always say, I get to go do this, or I get to talk to this woman today. I get to design this logo. And then I share, what I'm designing, and they get really excited about the colors and the shapes and about the stories of the women that circle my life. So I think that's how everything is happening right now.
And I think that action on itself also shows them that it's okay to celebrate other women, something that we didn't see growing up. It was more of like, if she's having something she's taking from you, and directly or indirectly, we were told a narrative that another woman was our competition, when in reality, no, we are our own competition. And by you sharing the behavior with your daughters, you're saying like, hey, it's safe to work with other women. It's safe to celebrate them. And it's also safe to ask other women for money because, hello, they have to pay us for the work that we're doing. And I love that. And I find myself in the same shoes of really loving to be a mother. With my last child, I had postpartum depression. So I didn't feel like motherhood was for me, just like you. And now, like, I love spending time with them. Just this week, we were playing Barbies, and then my oldest was like, "Mommy, make tortillas." And I'm like, "I don't make tortillas for anybody except her." And so we're playing, we're cooking, and cooking is another thing that I feel like I needed to heal from. And now I love cooking. I'm like, yeah. And I'm not saying that I'm in the kitchen every day, but when I do,
You
I
do it
just
with
love
love.
it. I love cooking, and I
Yeah.
love teaching them how to take care of themselves. And what a powerful testimonial that you're giving us right now, Natalia. Now, how did you decide what offer you were going to launch? Because you went from designing clothes, if I understood that
Yeah.
correctly, like now designing logos and brands and all of these amazing things. So, how do you decide this is what I want to do?
The truth is that the skills are transferable. And when I went out there and tried to see what I could do when I got furloughed, it was more about the community. So I am heavily involved in local moms groups here in Dallas. And that's how I found like the calling. Everybody was getting laid off, everybody's getting furloughed, everybody was starting their own business, and they were wanting people that make them feel seen and safe to ask, because many of these people have never started a business before. And my experience has given me the tools to walk all kinds of people through a design process. And that's kind of, I'm not going to brag, but that's my superpower, because I have worked with rooms full of people that are not designers and explain them why we designed this, or why we picked this color, or why we picked this shape. So that has been how we moved from working in corporate for apparel and then moving into branding. And then branding has always been my highest obsession, like to be honest. Just the concept of people paying for the same product at different prices just makes me just, it's fascinating to me, and the psychological part of it all. So that's how I transitioned into that. And right now we only offer brand design. We don't do logo design, which is just the logo and goodbye. None of the things that we do start with us just drawing. Everything starts with a strategy. So we do brand strategy first, and then we design your brand. And then for your website is the same. We do like strategy for your website and then go into designing. So it's just really fueled from everything that I've learned in my corporate life.
And I love these. I'm like, I just love it. Like, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall so I could see your transformation, because there is a lot of, yes, I have this skill set, but there's also a lot of fear and doubt when it comes to putting your name as an entrepreneur or putting your name on a website or even telling people, like, I am the CEO of my business. Can you tell me maybe one moment when you feel doubt or fear, and how were you able to overcome that?
I think that my biggest fear, and I think I'm working through it, but is sharing more of my work on LinkedIn. Because on LinkedIn lives my corporate family. Everybody that saw me grow as an apparel designer from like an assistant into like a full designer, and then going on LinkedIn and showing these people that know me really well, you know what, like I'm the CEO of this and I'm doing this, has been really intimidating. But because my community has grown so much, I feel super uplifted by my community to share more of my skills and our achievements as creative studio, or like power up brand and design before that. So it's been a journey, but it's definitely one of my biggest challenges.
And I love that you're taking up space though. And you're not the only one that is afraid of visibility, or people that say, but I want to be on LinkedIn, but my coworkers are there, or ex coworkers. I went through the same fear. And I think it was one of my business coaches that said, you can block people or remove them.
Yeah.
That it was like, yeah, hello. Like, why wouldn't I do that? If I do that on Instagram and on Facebook or whatever else I am, why wouldn't I do that for LinkedIn? But sometimes I think it takes the right investment with the right coach to also help you see that, hey, there's
For
so
sure.
many things that you can do to follow your purpose. And yeah, block the people that you don't want to see. Now, let's talk about money. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about money.
How has the investment in your services changed from when you started to now? Meaning, how much did your first client pay you versus how much are you charging now?
Yeah, my first three clients were free. So that's how the business started. I posted on a mom's group and I was like, I'm going to give free logos, three free websites. And those were the three people that started my business. And still to this day, they refer me people. And this is 5 years ago. And even I look at those websites and I'm like, gee, yeah, things have changed. Right now, if you work with us to design your brand and website together, it's around the 8,000 bucket. It's been a process for sure. It comes with like courses, learning, becoming like an expert at a specific platform, which is now Show It, where we design our websites, perfecting your process. But this is fun, and I want to share this with you. A couple of weeks ago, or months ago when we were going through our rebrand, I had a call with somebody, with a man that is also Colombian and he's in Florida. We were just doing a networking call, and I was sharing that we're just shifting our niche into serving minority owned businesses, supporting like women of color, Latinas, like really specifically to serve the people that we love. And he said, Latinas don't really spend money that way. And that's a really small niche. Like, why would you do that? People have in their brain that Latinas and like women of color, people that have been challenged before, don't understand the value of an investment. Generational things have happened, and we do understand. And Latinas and women of color are willing to pay high ticket services when they see the value and people talk to them in their language. Sometimes that means in
100%.
Spanish. So it's been a journey, but I feel it's been probably 2 or 3 years since I've had a conversation with someone that has asked me for a discount.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I will say my first investment in anything that I've ever did for my business was $3,000. And I've shared it before. My website was definitely on a high ticket investment. And when I decided to do that, I was so pleased to invest, not only because I knew that I was going to get the most beautiful website that I could ever dream of, but also because the investment was in a Latina. And in fact, my now website is my second version of my website. I also have a personal website on Show It, and I love Show It, by the way, too.
Yeah.
It's so simple, it's so fun. but we are making high ticket investments. Look at her website, look at Natalia's website, look at the Say Hola World website. All of those women are investing in high ticket. And I think something that is so important to also talk about right now is that our job is not to change the mindset of what people think about our services. Our job is
Exactly.
actually to deliver results that will speak to what we
Exactly.
create. And I'm like, I love that you have a high ticket offer, by the way. Felicidades. Now,
Thank you.
that will mean that you only, not only because I don't know what your financial goals are, we haven't dived into that, but two two clients a month could bring you $16,000.
Yeah, yes, but no. In the sense that I've built all of our offers so that people can have payment plans. So we break it down. So I feel like monthly we're doing around 8,000 as we stack our different projects and different kinds of projects because we have different levels. But that has been the most beautiful thing to watch. When people have that flexibility, the clients that have come through our doors are just they're just revolutionary and we love them so much. They have so much heart for their community. And with the small investment they do at the beginning, the way they have transformed their own community is just mind blowing. So, yeah, that's how it works for us.
Yeah, and I love that. Yeah, have a high ticket offer, create payment plan. Excuse me, I'll edit this part. Create a payment plan because that's also another way that you can make things accessible for our community. It doesn't necessarily have to be that create a $75 logo and a $220 website. Like you, that's us thinking for our community. So I really love these right now. Now, what's next for you, Natalia? Because I want to know what's next for you.
Right now, we're about to launch some courses, which I'm very excited about in Spanish and in English, which has always been my dream. I've met so many people in the past 3 or 4 months with some speaking engagements that we've done. People really want to see this in Spanish as well. So just the foundation of what brand is, how to build a brand. Yes, you have a logo, but what do you do with it? What's the mystique behind it? I want people to have the tools and the information to build a brand, not just the logo, sure. I want you to have the basis to build a brand on your everyday, when you show up on your Instagram, when you show up on your newsletter, which I mean, Lucy, I get your emails, I get your blog. So that is what I want people to see that they can do. And as a Latina and like as a woman of color, it's been really interesting to see the drive, the tenacity in our people to build things without knowing. We are so scrappy, so resourceful. Like we do things con las uñas because that's how we were taught. But when we have the tools, the things that I've seen people accomplish is just mind blowing. So I'm really excited about some of these courses and master classes and to just showing up on more stages because I am on a mission to become the leader that I wish I saw on stage. So yeah, more of that.
I love that. And wow, I think that this conversation just made me realize of how many entrepreneurs and yeah, established entrepreneurs don't have the vision of creating a seven-figure business because of what you just said. We're
Yep.
scrappy. We feel like we have to do everything. And I think we forget that the most valuable resource that we have is time. And that's why I invest in Latina owned brands
Yeah.
because I usually invest in women that have shared values. Like for me, that's part of my brand too,
Yeah, for sure.
personal and business brand. It has to, our values have to be aligned, right? We don't need to be twinsies, but at least like we have to have values.
Yes.
And when I think about, for example, Shoei, for my personal website, I said I can learn and do it myself, or I can make an investment and get all of that time back so I could continue to do what I do good, which is talking about money and financial healing.
Exactly.
And this is why it's so important that we invest not only in things that save us time, but also when you invest in a Latina owned business, you are circling back the money to our
Yes.
community, which therefore
Yes.
creates a financial ecosystem that helps all of us build generational wealth. So I love this for you. Now, I have two more questions and I'm like so excited.
Yeah, no,
I te
we're good.
quiero preguntar más cosas, but I want to be mindful of your time too. What is your definition of wealth and how can people work with you?
Look, wealth to me comes in different forms, but to me, wealth is freedom. And especially now, I feel like we're all starting to reevaluate what freedom looks like. It's just wealth comes with the power of owning your time and owning your money, having the possibility to make your own money and manage your own time. So, those two things for me are wealth, because when you have time, you have health, which is also equal to wealth. So, I feel like it's really managing and producing your own money, managing and producing your own time.
Love it. I love it. I'm like, I get goosebumps every time people give me their definition of wealth because it's so different for everyone. And this is why the power of healing and the power of going after your goals is so important, because you get to redefine what success and wealth is, just as we were talking about this at the beginning of the conversation. So thank you so much for that. Now, where can people find you and how can they work with you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. We're at Hola Luz Creative. And then on our website, which is the same, holaluzcreative.com. And super excited to share the space with you and with your community. I truly appreciate the invitation, and I hope we can do more of this together.
I hope so too. So thank you for being here. And Mujeres, make sure you give her a follow. Get on the newsletter because she is going to be dropping some courses. So please support another Latina and let's go ahead and build well juntas.